Hey guys, today I'm going to share my journey on how did I pass my PMP examination test. I had my test on July the 5th, 2022. It was like a month and a half. So I have all the fresh update on a test, which is good. And also I will share uh, my journey on how did I pass, especially time allocated for a test, materials, tips and tricks, and also I will share some links I think it's helpful to pass the test. So the first thing we're gonna start with time allocated for a test. I allocated like a month and a half, but I really started studying for the test like a month. I gave it a month, and my background comes from civil engineering. I have like 5 years of project management experience in construction and engineering. So I had a good knowledge of the procedures and process. Um, so like we all human being, we need to register and we need to set a deadline for ourselves in order to pass a test, and that way we can be pushed. So in order to get qualified for a test, you need to have like 3 years of experience, I believe 36 months, and 35 hours of PDU or contact hours, and a bachelor degree. And the other one is with the secondary high school. You need to have more experience than 35 hours. So probably you guys who are going to take the test, you already know. You can go and check it out, the PMI website for the requirements. So I register myself because you have to start with registering yourself, so that way you can be pushed and feel to study. I so I start because once you registered, it's better to register um, as a member, because that way you can download free books, especially Pinbox 6 and 7th, and an agile book, which is really essential for the test. I download, and also I grab the Pinbox 6 and I started studying that one, and I give myself just a week. Most people spend all month, or they spend all their time to study that book, which is not gonna come. I guarantee it's not gonna come. You shouldn't memorize this stuff, because why you shouldn't memorize? Because everything is situational in the exam. So what you need to do, I open up the book and I study general. I study to know the process, especially you don't need to remember ITTO, input tools and techniques. You need to just understand and grasp the knowledge, where you can find information, where can you find the communication management, what is in the communication management, what's in the stakeholder engagement plan, what's project chatter, so you have to understand what these terms really mean, and understand where you can find information. That these are very important point of reading book. So after reading the book, I read, at the same time I register myself in order to fulfill the 35 contact hours. I took the course from Udemy, the Joseph Phillips. I think he's okay, and you can get any course to. If I would have had the chance, I would go with Andrew Ramadel course, but Joseph Phillips is also good. It's a good course to fulfill the requirement. Also, you can have a good knowledge of the entire book, the Pombox X, and all the procedures. If you don't want to read, you can take a course and you can fulfill the 35 contact hours. So at the same time, I was listening to Andrew Ramadel Mindset. That's really good. I really like the guy. The guy is really giving you a tip that really pass a test. The test is all about the mindset. It's all about the mindset procedures, how they're playing with that, so understanding those will really help you. So I was listening to Andrew Ramadel videos. He has a podcast. He's uploading a lot of videos. So, and also you can join his online session. That's really helpful. I I took his TIA exam, core exam, and that was really helpful. And that exam has multiple exams in it, and the format is quite similar to the actual exam, which is really helpful. And that's the material I study. Let me summarize what did I study for my exam. The first one I studied Pinbox X. Aviation, I had a glimpse of Pinbox 7th, and I don't think so that's really important for the test. Anyways, it's good to have that knowledge. And the other one is Agile Project Management book that I studied. That one, it's really easy. It's 144 pages. You can read in 2-3 days because it's really simple language. And the other one, Joseph Phillips, 35 contact hours, and Andrew Ramadel Mindset and his TIA exam. That was really helpful. And also there are some other videos on YouTube. I watched some YouTube videos, and I can share the link at the end or in my YouTube. You can have a look and see by yourself, which is really good. So that was the time. I talk about the time. I give it a month, and the materials I talk about, and also the tips and tricks for exam. The exam is quite long. It's 230 minutes with 180 question, and you have good timing. So the time is really important for the test, which I encountered some of the people who had problem with managing the time, and they were spending too much time on a question. They could have easily pass question and go to next question, because the more time you spend on a question, you actually put a lot of pressure. So manage your time. Give yourself 2 minutes to 3 minutes for a question, especially 2 minutes. That's enough. The only question is giving you a little bit the challenge is drag and drop. It's not that challenging, but it's going to take you some time, because sometimes it's five drags and 5 drops, and you have to find those, and it's going to take you 3 minutes for sure to put that. I'm not sure. Maybe you can do it in a minute or longer. So the test itself is 230 minutes and 180 questions, and after every 60 questions you solve, there is a 10-minute break, and you cannot go back to your 60 questions that you answer. So you have to make sure that you did a good job and review all the questions before leaving the test room, and going back to the test room, and you're going to tackle another 60 questions and 10 minutes out and 60 questions at the end. You're going to get result right away that you passed or failed. This is the test time. The another tip and tricks, I told you about the time, how to tackle 2 minutes max for questions, which is really good. The tips and tackle is the mindset. It's really good. I was always looking, might these things, when you find these things, there's always risk, risk management, risk questions, and could and will and would. This one is always like issue logs, issues. So this is always issue. And also write down, I was always writing down on my paper servant leader. So the people, so the test is mainly three domain: people, business, and process. And in people, it's all about servant leadership. You don't need to fire someone, you don't need to go ask a sponsor for any help. You don't like ask another team to help you. You resolve everything within your team. You solve within your team. You motivate your team. You help them. You serve them food. And you know so this is the whole purpose of people and the process and businesses. You gotta have good knowledge of agile and also predictive life cycles, which is important. And by that way, you can really tackle the test, and really really easy. Um, so that was the whole point. That was the whole point. And just be sure that you know agile project management better. And because mostly it's agile, it's 70% agile from my experience. So if you have good knowledge, you're gonna easily pass the test. Just believe in yourself, be ready for the test, and sleep well, eat well before the test. You will 100% make it. Thank you so much. I hope you succeed in the test and wish you best of luck.